Hi, so I am Tamara Winter. I'm the communications lead for the Center for Innovative Governance Research. So global poverty and unmanaged migration are two of the biggest issues that emerging economies are going to confront in the 21st century. So our goal at the center is to both lift tens of millions of people out of poverty and in the process create the great global cities of tomorrow. Specifically, we do this by building the ecosystem for charter cities. Charter cities are new city developments granted a special jurisdiction, which allows them to adopt the best practices in commercial law. So we take the lessons of successful special economic zones like Shenzhen, Dubai, Singapore, and Hong Kong, and apply them to cities being built literally from the ground up. So we don't see those cities that I just mentioned as global outliers of the past 50 years, but rather as models of the kinds of cities that could be built in sub-Saharan Africa, in Southeast Asia, and beyond.
And so what we do is we work with new city developments that are already being constructed. This image is of a dam being built in Zambia for Nkwashi, which is our most developed project. It's 3,100 acres and being built for 100,000 residents. And so we're working with the real estate developer and the Zambian government to create this legal framework that will make it a much more competitive place to do business, to create the institutions that are necessary for long-term economic development. In addition, we're working with E, the co-founder of Andela and Flutterwave, on a new city development in Nigeria, and have two projects in the pipeline, one in Afghanistan and one in Mauritius. And so this image is actually of when we visited Nkwashi in April, and that the water in the background is the lake that was created because of this dam that was being built that basically will provide, it's a reservoir that will provide water for the residents. And so our strategic plan, our strategic vision is first we create the ecosystem for charter cities by bringing together new city developers, entrepreneurs, investors, governments, and international development experts to create a shared understanding of charter cities. Then what we do is provide technical assistance, working with the new city developers and governments to create governing institutions that can make them much more competitive to places to do business. Then what we do is we work to help develop master plans. That will be one of our next hires, an urban planner, to start thinking for these long-term plans for charter cities. And then 2 to 4 years, create an asset management firm to start investing in charter cities and be able to handle all aspects of charter city development. Our goal is not to build 1 or 2, but basically to create a factory that can produce dozens.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Sorry, Tamara, are you going to say anything else, or?
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, it's just so inspiring. I mean, I think one question that I have, and hope this doesn't come across as rude, but given how ambitious the scale of this project is, like, what makes you think that both of you can pull it off versus sort of like more established institutions or something like that?
Well, none of the more established institutions are doing it. And so more seriously, as an answer to the question, I think this requires basically a set of skills and way of looking at the world, which doesn't really exist. And so that's what we're trying to create. And the vision for that, one of our advantages is we can speak multiple languages. Mm-hmm. There's been several attempts in Silicon Valley that haven't really gone. So we can speak Silicon Valley. I'm trained as an economist. We can speak economist. We can speak technocrat. We are sort of conversational in new city developer. And so by being able to bring together all these various stakeholders that are really necessary to execute on an aspect of building charter cities, it's possible to get them created. And I think we have that advantage, in addition to the fact that just like we have traction on the ground. I mean, we are doing it. It's not just a concept at this point.
Wow. It's amazing. I mean, like, but surely the scale of capital that you'll need will be pretty tremendous. How much do you actually need to succeed and pull this off? And sort of what's the path to that?
Sure. So the way we're approaching this, we are a 501c3, we're a nonprofit, and we're basically creating the ecosystem and providing technical assistance. So our goal next year is to have a budget of about $3 million. We've raised 1.2 million that will give us runway for 2 years and can handle all of our current projects. But for example, I met with the ambassador from Mauritius last week, and he wanted us to come basically do one full scale in Mauritius. And
Wow.
I said no, because we don't have the capacity to do that yet. I would like to be able to say yes when projects like that come up. And the capital cost for the actual construction of new cities is probably less than you think. You can build a new city in Africa for about $100 million, $200 million.
Wow. So you have the demand, you just need the capital to be able to hire the staff to make this happen.
Exactly.
Basically.
And we've already started doing that, right? So earlier this year, our staff was just 2 people. It's now grown to almost 6. So we're pretty excited about that. And so the trajectory looks good.
That's great. Congratulations. Kind of a controversial question, but like, how do you make sure this isn't colonialism?
Yeah, I actually really like this question because I think, one, it's really important that we work directly with partners on the ground, right? So our partners in Zambia are Zambian, our partners in Nigeria are Nigerian, I'm also myself Nigerian. But two, I also think it's really important that these that Zambians, Nigerians, and beyond get to really determine the kinds of institutions that they want to build, right? So the institutions that they currently live under, nobody in those countries had a say in designing them. And so we charter cities not only as these rapid economic development projects, but as really political projects that can be a source of pride for people living in those cities. So I'm really excited about that. And it's really cool to listen to really sharp entrepreneurs who aren't kind of taking the institutions that they live under as given and really kind of shaping the future of Zambia's institutions, Nigeria's, and beyond.
Inspiring. I mean, I just think it's so exciting that you're working with local partners there in that way and really empowering them to take control. I mean, how can we help? What interest do you need? How can people watching help you out right now?
I think what is most important right now is basically funding. Like we mentioned, we've got a decent runway. 8 months ago, it was I just brought on Tammy, and when we went to Zambia for the first time, we didn't have enough money in the bank to make payroll, and now we do, which is nice. But
Tammy seems like a really understanding person.
These are she didn't know. these are very big projects, and so we're trying to basically build up the team and train them.
Yep.
So when the projects, there are opportunities, we're not running around like chickens with our head cut off being reactive, but instead can be proactive in having the team and the sort of institutional infrastructure to be able to execute immediately.
Cool. And just last question, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Email me at mark@innovativegovernance.org. We have a newsletter that you can sign up to, Twitter account, Facebook. Twitter is InnovGovernance, I believe, and Facebook is Innovative Governance.
Awesome. Well, congrats on all the progress. And yeah, really great to meet you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Exciting.